Scientific facts and proof that Islam is the truth religion. The Quran says, all the people who are making shirk with Allah, they are making partners with Allah, whether it is the idol worshippers, or the atheists, or the pagans, or whoever, they will never leave off their disbelief. They are not going to leave off their disbelieving in Allah, and they're not following Allah's guidance until it comes to them the clear evidence. My dear readers, brothers and sisters, now let's embark on a journey to take you through a very amazing and interesting topic, and that is the proof that Islam is the truth, that we can prove that Islam truly is the religion that has been revealed by Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth, for the guidance and the benefit of all of humanity. Now, before we actually go into the main topic itself, I would like to spend a little bit of time dealing with what may seem to be periphery issues, but they're very important words I want to talk about. What is proof? What is faith? When I say we can prove that Islam is the truth, what do I mean by that? Some people would already look at that as a type of oxymoron. How can you prove faith to be true? Isn't faith supposed to be something that you believe without proof? Isn't that what the meaning of faith is? So I want to examine that. What is the meaning of faith, and what is the meaning of proof? But first of all, I would like to mention a verse from the Quran, is repeated again and again in the Quran. Quran says, if what you claim is true, bring your proof. Bring your evidence, bring your proof. If you are making a claim about Allah, if you are making a claim about anything, in fact, what is upon you and what is an obligation upon you, is to bring your Burhan, your proof, your evidence, and this is something that Allah mentions many times in the Quran. In other words, it is not enough just to make a claim, you have to prove your claim, and this is something that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also mentioned. That the proof is upon the claimant, the person who is making a claim, has to prove it. Because otherwise, we would claim the blood and the property of each other. This is the reality. So I'm sure that every single one of you is familiar with this in your daily life. I wanna mention here very famous professor, Dr. Yoshihide Kozai, Professor Emeritus at Tokyo University, Hong Kong, Japan, and he was the director of the National Astronomical Observatory in Mitaka, Tokyo, Japan. The question asked to him was, what about the verses of the Quran which speak about astronomy? He said, I say I am very much impressed by finding true astronomical facts in the Quran, and for us modern astronomers who have been studying a very small piece of the universe, we have concentrated our efforts on understanding a very small part. Because using telescopes, we can only see very few parts of the sky without thinking about the whole universe. So by reading the Quran and answering questions, I think I can find my future way of investigating the universe. The amazing scientific facts that are contained in the Quran. The historical information, the facts there concerning historical events that no one could have known 1,400 years ago, also the prophecies of the Quran, and the prophecies of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Some things the Quran tells us about the future, and things that the Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, told us about the future. Things that he said were going to happen, and they happen exactly how the Prophet said they would happen. Now look at this, the universe, how the Quran had described the universe as expanding. The universe has a common origin, and the universe that we know it is today was formed out of a gaseous mass. And how all of this information was only discovered recently. Let's look at some more verses of the Quran concerning cosmology. One of the verses we want to mention is this. Allah is the one who created the night and the day, the sun and moon, each one is traveling in an orbit with its own motion. This is amazing. The Quran is talking 1,400 years ago, about the earth and the moon, and the sun rotating. If you are perhaps thinking that the sun is static, it's not the sun as does the earth as does the moon, they all rotate of course. The earth, however, rotates around the sun rotates around its own axis, so it is actually quite correct in saying, and of course the earth is in orbit around the sun. And also by the way the sun is also in orbits, but it is in orbit around the center of the galaxy. In fact, It is believed that ultimately if the Sun keeps going in its orbit, it would ultimately end in what is known as this solar apex. Is a sort of position, that it will end up in the center of the galaxy. So what we find here is that the Quran is talking about things that no one could really know this information 1,400 years ago. It is scientifically accurate. The idea of the alternation of the night and the day and of the spherical nature of the earth is actually implied in the 31st surah and the 29th verse of the Quran. There are a lot of scientific facts that prove Islam is the true religion. We will share this with next video. Hopefully, you find a few benefits in this video. If yes, then I did my job. See you in the next video.